Hello, today I'd like to show you how to graft I-cord that has been worked around a circular opening like a sleeve hole or a collar or a cuff. So you can see here that I have a piece of knitting that I've picked up stitches along the edge and worked and applied I-cord. I cheated a little bit here. Instead of working all the way around, I worked here, picked back up, and worked back to my start just to save a little bit of time. But you can consider basically I've done the same equivalent as working my I-cord all the way around. And now I want to create a nice, neat finish for this I-cord edge, because if you're using this to finish something like the collar of a sweater, that's a very visible spot, even if you tuck it towards the back of your neck. So it's helpful to be able to create a polished finish here. So I'm going to graft this. So I've already broken my working yarn. I'm going to put this onto a tapestry needle. And I'm going to start with the first stitch of my I-cord. So not the one that has the yarn coming from it, but the one on the opposite end of my needle. And this is going to be the stitch that would be closest to the wrong side of your work. So I'm going to start by inserting my needle purlwise into this first stitch. And then I'm going to look at the cast on stitches, setting up at the start of my graft, and find that same first stitch and insert my needle behind that stitch. Pull that through. And now I want to insert my needle knitwise into that first stitch, and I obviously drop it off of my my double point, and then I'm gonna adjust my tension just to make sure it's pretty even with the other stitches around it. And now we're going to repeat those steps. So insert my needle purlwise into the stitch on my double point, and then come up here, find the next stitch. So my yarn came out there on the last stitch. We're going to go behind this stitch on the starting I-cord, and then insert my needle knitwise onto that stitch on my double point and drop that off the needle. And again, snug this up so that that stitch is of a similar size to the ones around it. Now you can see my last stitch is wanting to drop off my needle. Got to be careful while I'm doing this not to lose any stitches. Insert, oops, that was going to be backwards. Insert that needle purlwise into that stitch. Now come up here and go behind that last stitch from my setup of my I-cord. And pull that through. And now we go into this stitch knitwise and drop that off of the needle. And now I'm going to give this a little tug, and you can see that I now have a continuous I-cord that goes all the way around without a disruption, although the last stitch there is a little bit loose. You can pull on that first stitch a little bit to tug that or to snug that up, or you can just count on blocking to even that out. And now we can just weave this end in. My favorite trick for weaving in ends on I-Cord is that you can just insert that needle in up the middle of your I-Cord and tuck that end in there. Oops. Well, my tail fell off, but let's try that one more time. I'm actually going to go, no, I'll stick with what I was doing. Insert that needle up into that I-Cord. I can just pop it out, pull through, and then I can trim my yarn here. And now I have a nice neat join where my I-Cord is continuous all the way around. I hope this is helpful and lets you create some nice, neat I-Cord edges on your projects. Thank you for watching.